Hello and welcome to special News9 live show. Even as the election dates get announced, we are bringing to you the exclusive findings of the TV9 People's Insight and Polstrat Opinion Poll. The battle lines are already drawn. Prime Minister Modi has declared that the BJP will win over 370 seats and the NDA will cross the 400 number mark in the Lok Sabha this time. The opposition, India Bloc, has been struggling to keep its unity. What is the mood of the nation right now? How are states going to behave? What does the pollster say? Before we come to the numbers, let me first play out a soundbite of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
आज देश में जो अभी मैंने टीवी पे देखा कि 2024 के लोकसभा चुनाव का बिगुल बजने जा रहा है। टीवी वाले बताते हैं कि अब से कुछ ही देर बाद दिल्ली में चुनाव की तारीखों का ऐलान हो जाएगा। लेकिन मेरे प्यारे भाइयों बहनों, तारीखों के औपचारिक ऐलान के पहले ही देश की जनता ने, देश ने नतीजों का ऐलान कर दिया है। देश ने घोषणा कर दी है, अब की बार तेलंगाना भी कह रहा है, तीसरी बार
Now, before I go to my guests and before I go to Brijesh Pandey, let me tell you that the opinion poll is about the mood of the nation. Opinion poll is an estimate of the seats. You know, elections can behave differently. Opinion polls have a way of gauging the mood. They are not exact science, but it's a tool to understand what's happening on ground. Often opinion polls, they have big margin, but we have tried our best to keep it in that small range where we know which direction this election is going. There are a couple of very important states. There are small states. But I think there is a state on which all eyes are set. And the state is Uttar Pradesh. And I'll tell you the reason. One, maximum number of seats. Second, saturation of Bharatiya Janata Party. Third, irrelevance of Congress. Now, we have broken the news that Rahul and Priyanka will not contest elections. First election after 1952 when Gandhi family will be missing from Uttar Pradesh. Missing. Historic. And probably first election after 1990 where regional parties will become completely irrelevant. If I leave aside 14 and 19, the results of this election will consolidate this opinion that somehow BSP and ESP are lost case. The state has saturated, and post Mulayam and semi-retired Mayawati, it's not going anywhere. So, first state is Uttar Pradesh. And in this first state, Uttar Pradesh, the numbers are there to see. 70 seats. 70 seats for Bharatiya Janata Party. And it also shows us 2 seats for RLD, 1 for Apna Dal, 1 for Congress, 1 for Samajwadi Party. So 6 for Samajwadi Party. Brijesh, can we just stay on this? PCR, just stay on this. I would like you to stay on this. We'll just stay on this. Your assessment.
Well, I think the only surprising thing out of this entire stat sheet, and I know, if I have to put it the way it is which one seat the Congress is going to win. Barring that,
which one seat?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm surprised that there is one seat which the Congress is going to win, because Congress's abdication, the two stories which are coming out of Uttar Pradesh, we all have said it ad nauseum, that road to Delhi goes through Lucknow. It's a clear reminder.
73-7.
There is 73-7. There are two things. A, that BJP is going to repeat 2014 in 2024. The victory will be an absolute victory, riding very high on Ram Temple Pran Pratishtha wave, and also the currency of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. BJP and its allies are set to sweep Uttar Pradesh. The second big story, or the big takeaway, is that this state also, as it reflects the might of BJP, this state reflects the exact condition of Congress party. They have abdicated Uttar Pradesh, and this tells you the real story of where exactly Congress is vis-a-vis 2024.
What has gone wrong with Samajwadi Party? That's what I'm really interested in. What has gone wrong with the Samajwadi Party?
There are two things, Kartikeya. I'll be surprised if they win this much. If you again ask me a very honest opinion, I'll be surprised if they win this much. The second thing is that, that you have to understand that to fight an election, election is not a 2 instant noodles, where you wake up and you just, tear the rapa and you have this dish made in front of you. Election is a constant process which is being perfected to a level of art by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Amit Shah.
Okay,
you are not fighting election there. You're not there on the ground.
I'm also joined by Bhanuchandra Nagarajan. Bhanuchandra, it just tells us that somehow the saturation remains, and it clearly tells us that Bharatiya Janata Party has been able to maintain its seat position. I don't think it's going anywhere, which means that the consolidation of seats is at a very high level.
Yeah, absolutely. See, as much as the excitement around the southern states in this election, I think UP is going to provide the maximum delta for BJP. So I think from 62, probably like this numbers that I see on your screen is a bit on the conservative side. I agree with what Brijesh was saying. So it is going to give the maximum delta. So as a South Indian, I was actually for once happy that the focus is on the South Indian states, but now we are back to Uttar Pradesh. I'm not complaining, because like the biggest delta for BJP is going to come from there, and the utter domination is going to continue. The reason for that is the backing communities of Samajwadi Party, the Muslims and Yadavs, also give rise to high counter polarization. There are people that don't want these communities to be as powerful as they were before. So that is the basic, that gave rise to a bigger social justice movement of giving political representation to smaller OBCs, other smaller castes that have hitherto not got political representation. That was the fundamental of the BJP's way over the last 10 years. So I think I'm not surprised by these numbers that I see on this.
Okay, so now this is Uttar Pradesh. Let me take you to one more state. Let me play out the tally of Bihar. Now, Bihar is also not giving us a lot of surprises. If we put this tally of Bihar, it's not giving us a lot of surprises. BJP is 17, JDU is 15, LJP is 5, HM is 1, Congress is 2. Now, basically, if you look at it, it's a complete domination of Bharatiya Janata Party and JDU.
Well, Kartikeya, I have my slight reservation about this data. The reason why I'm saying this is that though I by and large agree that, the BJP, JDU combined will be the dominant force, but honestly speaking, again, I don't see Congress winning 2, and I don't see RLD being 0.
Why do you say that?
Because, Congress is not at all a big force in the state of Bihar. If you ask anybody, Congress is piggy banking, on the might of RJD, and the kind of reception Tejasvi Yadav is receiving, when he is on his yatras and his rallies and all, I don't honestly see RJD coming to 0, and I also don't see JDU and LJP getting a clean sweep on the number of seats which they are fighting. So I would be, I have my reservation on this data, but yes, again, I would say that one thing is crystal clear, that come what may, the BJP, JDU, LJP and HUM combined will definitely cross the 30 mark. So that is for sure. But it'll be interesting to see that, that if RJD is absolute zero and the Congress is going to win 2 seats.
Okay, I'm also joined by Ajit Jha, political analyst, senior journalist. Ajit, there is one thing which is very clear, that the consolidation of Bharatiya Janata Party remains strong, and I think it remains very, very consistent in states of Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. It has not gone down. The saturation remains.
Are you asking me?
Yes. Yes.
Sorry, I just joined the debate. Yes, I would tend to agree with that, because for 2 reasons. One, Uttar Pradesh is the pocket borough of BJP. Not even today, but since 2014, right? In 2014, they won 70 plus seats. In 2019, when there was a Bua Bhatija alliance, still they won 62 plus 2, 64 seats. So I would tend to agree that with Mayawati not joining the India alliance, I would tend to agree that the entire mandate of 2024 in Uttar Pradesh would look like that of 2014, which is 70 plus, which I suppose you have shown. And in Bihar, Nitish Kumar, if he had stayed in the India alliance, this would have looked different. But with Nitish Kumar going back to the India alliance, the combination of the BJP with the JDU is a massive combination across castes, across, across the state. And on top of that, if you look at what happened in 2019, this combination had won 39 out of 40 seats. So I would tend to agree that is likely to happen. In fact, even in 2019, Congress won 1 seat in Bihar, RJD won none of the seats. So I would tend to think that this is likely to happen. But I just have one question, and that is, I'm assuming that this entire survey was done before this scam has hit, which is the electoral bond scam. Now, if that becomes a campaign issue, then things could change a little bit. Bihar and UP, I still think largely will go with the BJP, because they have a big advantage here. But the scam, if it becomes a major issue during election, and if the India alliance is able to sell it among the electorate, it might make a few percentage point difference. But on the whole, I would agree with this survey.
Okay, I think there's another state which I really need to introduce, that's Punjab. Let me introduce that survey. Punjab is an important state. So what happens in Punjab? Is it AAP? Is it Congress? Is it Bharatiya Janata Party? It's AAP. So it means that the Congress is the biggest loser, BJP gains, AAP stays, and Congress is zero. And one thing is very, very clear, Brijesh. Whenever a Congress party has lost a state to a regional setup, it doesn't get it back. Going to AAP means that the Congress has become a third force.
Well, yes, I would agree. I would say that until now they have not rested.
AAP stays for long.
AAP stays for long. If these figures are anything to go by, then definitely AAP stays for long. This also proves one thing, that the popularity of Aam Aadmi Party hasn't diminished a wee bit. And I'm surprised to see that the BJP is getting 2 seats, Lok Sabha seats from Punjab, which is not its pocket borough, which is not it's not a big party, and Congress getting 0 seats out of Punjab, where it's a big player, it's a major player. So I think, if these figures are going to go by, I think the heft of Arvind Kejriwal will increase several fold in 2024 election. Because with 11 Lok Sabha MP, Arvind Kejriwal will be a formidable player in most of the regional Satatraps if we look at in 2024 Lok Sabha.
I'm interested, what will happen in Haryana, what will happen in Madhya Pradesh, what will happen in Chhattisgarh, what will happen in Rajasthan, Gujarat. These are the states where BJP has total domination. And when I say total domination, they have the capacity to sweep. Bhanu, your comments on Punjab?
First, couple of things. One is, I think this poll is giving perhaps Gurdaspur and Hoshiarpur, the 2 northernmost constituencies in Punjab, to BJP, where there are a lot of Kashmiri pundits. So that's fair. But what is surprising is the Congress zero. Okay, that is shocking, because if you look at the top 3 states from which they got their 52 in 2019, apart from Kerala and Tamil Nadu, they got around 8 seats. So I really do not know where Congress is going to get its numbers, given that it is 0 in Punjab. And also, I do not know whether this 11 will be counted under the India alliance when you tally it. So that's also something I'll be looking forward to at the end of that
See,
accumulation.
basically, India Alliance, it's okay. You know, what is India Alliance? India Alliance is a broken alliance. I'm also joined by Manaswi Thapa. Manaswi, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and Punjab, the data is very, very clear. It's either the regional party which is doing well, or you have the Bharatiya Janata Party which is doing well. We have not, you know, I'm not really talking about other states now. It's for later, Telangana and other states. But right now, we are focusing on North India. It seems to be suggesting a completely clear picture.
I think the opinion poll is what even I have the same opinion on in my mind. So the Congress is basically in the regional, wherever the regional front is stronger, there's a fight between the regional front and the BJP. The Congress is on the third or the fourth ground. So Congress is basically a supporting player with the regional player in the India Alliance scheme of things. So in Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, or Jharkhand, everywhere, Congress is the third party, not the second party, the third party in support to a regional party. So this is what the scenario of the Congress is looking like. Congress, wherever there is a fight between Congress and BJP, Congress is as of now on the second leg of it. But in the regional regions like the Bihar, the Jharkhand, and the Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand region, Congress is on the third. They're just supporting the regional party so they don't mess up the vote of that particular political party. This is an intelligent move from the Congress of 2019 to 2024 to support the regional political party. So the vote of BJP is intact or consolidating. So they don't divert the vote of the regional political party. Split now. So that is the strategy of the Congress, which I don't know, it's going to turn out good for them or it's going to be a great political lesson again for Congress. That is what in the next few days we'll come to know.
There are two more states, Haryana and Uttarakhand. Simultaneously, we're going to play them out. So Haryana and Uttarakhand are two states. And let's see what Uttarakhand and Haryana has in store for political parties. Let's play out that data. NDA is 9 and India is 1. That's Haryana. And let's play out Uttarakhand data after it. Two small states, but highly effective politically. 5 for NDA, 0 for India. Now, Ajit, I mean, if we look at these two North Indian states, it means that the consolidation of vote for NDA is on the higher side. You know, India Congress or Congress plus plus or whatever the formation of India alliances, they are not being able to breach those marks because it's like Y.S. Rajshekar Reddy's 48% in Andhra election in 2019. Whatever you could do, no political party could breach that fort.
I would agree. You see, Lok Sabha is basically a Modi wave. In 2014, in 2019, it was a total Modi wave. And in 2024, one would expect that to be repeated. After all, BJP is the dominant party. It's rather, in fact, the better term would be, it's a hegemonic party, right? It is right now in power in 12 states and NDA is in power in 18 states. So, yes, BJP is obviously going to sweep because of the Modi factor. However, having said that, what again I would point out that in the case of Haryana, because there has a government has just changed its chief minister and an important ally, JJP, has left the BJP. So I am assuming this survey was done before that. Remember, surveys are only true on the day.
Ajit, you have said conducted. This. Do you really feel, okay, you are raising a very fundamental question here. Do you really feel that this issue of Supreme Court could change the pace of the election?
Not unless the India Alliance is able to sell it like VP Singh did in 1989 against Rajiv Gandhi. Remember, Rajiv Gandhi had 414 Lok Sabha MPs, right? And VP Singh, by campaigning on the issue of corruption, turned around the election. Or in 2013, India against corruption, at that point, the UPA government of Manmohan Singh fell.
There is also...
majorly on the issue of corruption. So unless and until the India Alliance goes and makes it a campaign issue, right now it's just a chatterati. I mean, most of us, we journalists, still don't have the figures, we don't have the information, we don't understand what's exactly going on. But I'm saying if it's an ongoing process and India campaign goes ahead and sells
But Kartikeya,
it.
there's also a fundamental difference here.
What?
If you look at VP Singh example, which is a very pertinent example, or of example of Anna Hazare, both these individuals has tremendous political capital to go on. They were revered, they were perceived as someone who are very dead honest, they are fighting against corruption, they were seen as crusaders. Right now, the problem with India Alliance is that there's not a single individual who can don the mantle or claim to be a VP Singh or say an Anna Hazare. Their political capital are at its lowest. I think the interesting thing which Mr. Jha was referring to would be the state of Himachal Pradesh. There will be would be Haryana. There it would be very interesting to see whether the survey was done before the dumping of JJP and the new chief minister on the ground or after that, because I think post the dumping of JJP and also getting a new chief minister, and with also the Brijendra Chaudhary MP from Hisar shifting sides to the Congress party, the figures might change a bit and the Congress may be able, or Congress might be in a position to make further inroads, getting up to 1 to 3 seats in the state of Haryana as possible. But I think by and large this electoral bond issue, right now, as we speak, the intensity of the electoral bonds, which otherwise should have been at its apogee, is kind of fizzling out, because there is no concerted effort by the opposition party or not a single individual who has the charisma, the political charisma to give it a spin. Like it or not, you have the Prime Minister, you had Anna Hazare, when it was the entire IAC where it was in a state of crescendo.
It's only Congress and left. No other regional political party has come out.
And there's nothing left of left, and there is nothing left of Congress.
If you look at the data, TMC has got more money than Congress in bonds.
Absolutely. But
and BRS has got more money. Now another state. I'm not going to bore people because ultimately these numbers are for our viewers. They should enjoy the elections. Chhattisgarh. 11 out of 11. Bhanu, tell me.
Can I quickly come on Haryana for 10 seconds?
Okay, absolutely, Bhanu. You don't. I'm not a schoolmaster here. You can start from Haryana and come to Chhattisgarh.
Yeah. So see, in Haryana, I think the one seat that the survey gives for the India Alliance is perhaps Rohtak, from which Dipinder Hooda won in 2014. They drew a blank last time. Also, like what the previous commentator was saying, post the split of JJP, Hisar seat maybe iffy. Okay, it's going to be a close contest because Brijendra Singh, the sitting MP, left the party, and also it is the pocket borough of the JJP team. Okay, so I think Hisar seat is also in play. Coming to Chhattisgarh, not surprising at all, because I think the tribals were wooed last time during the assembly elections, and the OBC community, the Sao communities have also been appeased. So I think both the big communities have come back to the BJP. Let's see, but Bhupesh Baghel is contesting from Rajasthan. Let's see how that works. So that might be an interesting contest.
So, Brijesh, why has Congress lost all the gains in Chhattisgarh? This is what I want to understand. A party which swept Chhattisgarh, lost this assembly election, and is also losing the steam. People felt that the Congress revived in Chhattisgarh after 15 years.
Well, I think the revival was squandered away so brutally and so badly that it had most of the 90% of the pollsters in a state of shock, and the entity which was in more bigger shock was the Congress central leadership. The fact of the matter is, Kartikeya, that you talk of tribal, you talk of OBC, you talk of SC/ST, you could not contain a tribal state, and where you lost so badly that it was baffling. The other thing is that if you look at the state of Uttarakhand, if you look at the state of Haryana, if you look at the state of Chhattisgarh and all, one thing is very clear. The BJP is at its apogee right now, as its highest peak in all of these states, and they have maintained the tempo. They have maintained the tempo. There is no dipping down in popularity, which clearly shows that whatever opposition is doing, it is not finding any kind of resonance with the
I have a different take. My take on Chhattisgarh is that the Congress has lost these states primarily is because of the difference of opinion between two important Gandhis in the family. Most of these states, if you recall, the way chief ministers were deployed, they were deployed for organizational function. when Priyanka Gandhi was campaigning in Assam, it was the Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh who was assisting her. Even if you look at this whole Sukhu thing, Rajiv Shukla had been telling everyone in the Congress party to accommodate these two ministers, but Mr. Sukhu did not do it because he is perceived to be close to Priyanka Gandhi. Even in Punjab this happened. Channi was favoured by Rahul Gandhi's team, and the current gentleman who is not fighting, who does not want to fight Lok Sabha election, was being pushed by Priyanka Gandhi. So and you know, it's such a sad thing that the party is not in order. The party is not in order because the family is not in place, and the party in itself is addicted to a dynasty and is not able to revive itself at a national level, because the internal systems are so rigged. You know, if there is an AICC election, you will never end up having a proper election, because people who vote them through PCCs, the entire process has become a process of nomination. So it's not transparent at all, and that is why when, you know, they lose a state, they lose it heavily. And it is for this reason when BJP is losing a state, it still consolidates its position, at least basic party base, which happened in Karnataka. We saw the Hindutva vote stayed there. But moving from there, now let me introduce another state, and then I'll go to Manaswi, and this is Rajasthan. This is Rajasthan. NDA 23.
Good news for India Alliance.
So good news for India Alliance. There, khata khul gaya. Manaswi, khata khul gaya.
I think the story with the Congress. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the story with the Congress is the same old problem. Wherever they loses once, the momentum is not coming back. They don't fight to win back again. There's no comeback story happening. Since last 10 years, what we have consistently seen is that once Congress loses, be it at the assembly level or at the Lok Sabha level, the leaders don't aim to come back. They don't see to counter the local leadership, regional leadership, or at the national level to challenge the Prime Minister Narendra Modi's the Lok Sabha election. That is not happening. So they don't find the people to fight the election also. This ultimate, when there is a juggernaut of BJP, that there is a momentum to continuously win. Even when they lose, they come second in an election. The Karyakartas don't move away from the momentum of consolidating the vote. They continuously be there. So somehow एकदम से ना वो heartfelt, the depressed kind of atmosphere comes in Congress, and there is no comeback which is happening. So that's a real big problem for Congress, and I think this election would be a further reduction of the vote bank of the Congress. So eventually, where Congress is going, this is an entire sense of gloominess, sense of depression. Then, as per your opinion polls, the idea what comes to my mind is, why do Congress even want to fight an election when they are not even opening up a seat anywhere? So this is going to be a futile exercise for them if they don't create leadership. There is no grassroots leaders which are coming up, and once they create leaders, once they become mature enough to lead something, they are anyway transferred to BJP. So it's an open platform for BJP. So what has Congress become? So the idea what comes to my mind as Congress is, it's a great incubator to create leaders and give it to BJP. So once the incubator matures a leader, it is transferred to BJP. So the vote bank of Congress, with the leaders they create, they can't retain it. The big wigs which they made in the past 50 years are going to BJP as an easy platter. Be it you can blame the ED, the CBI, but it is not a united front which Congress as a unit is fighting. There would not have been any India alliance if Congress would have fought better. If Congress would have been united, it would have been a different story altogether. There is some kind of no rhythm in Congress. There is some kind of no understanding क्या करना है. Everyone is doing कि मतलब रोज उठते हैं, what they have to do. There is no to-do list that today we want to do this is what we want to achieve. So if BJP fails, then there is an opportunity for Congress to rise. They are depending upon BJP to fail.
It is a classic case of, vultures are waiting for animal to die so that they can have a feast.
But Mr. Jha, there is also one thing. I think it's going to be the first election where the Gandhis will not be in Raebareli and Amethi. TV9 network, we have broken the news. And the news is that Priyanka is not fighting from Raebareli and Rahul Gandhi is not going back to Amethi. It's going to be path-breaking that after 52, you don't have a single Gandhi. And it's our network that has broken the news in Uttar Pradesh. I mean, so what a signal it's going to send?
Symbolically, look, what the survey is clearly showing until now, which generally surveys do, the general tendency. And what's the general tendency here? The BJP is sweeping, the Congress is getting decimated. That was the picture in 2014. That was the picture in 2019. And especially in those 180 to 200 seats where Congress faces the BJP directly, which is Rajasthan being one of those states, and in Chhattisgarh being the other state, there it's a clear BJP sweeps the entire state. And this is the picture in the past. Now, what you pointed out, that the fact that Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka are not contesting the Gandhi bastions, if you want to point out, is a symbolic defeat before the election has taken place, which means the Congress doesn't have the confidence to put them in these two seats, which is again a major blow, according to me, for the Congress. Now, where I am a little surprised, in Rajasthan, when you showed 2 seats to the Congress, I was under the impression earlier that Ashok Gehlot and Sachin Pilot, these 2 guys were supposed to contest from Dausa and Sardarpur. And I thought first, maybe at that moment when the survey was done, they thought of that. But recently, they have decided that the senior leaders won't contest. So I have a feeling NDA is going to get 25 out of 25 in Rajasthan, like last election or last 2 elections, because this is clearly India Alliance gaining because of Ashok Gehlot and Sachin Pilot. Because, obviously in Sardarpur and in Dausa, these 2 are major players.
Mr. Jha, this election is also about how reimagination is not happening. I don't want to delve into history too often, but people reimagine themselves in their parties. There is something called New Labour which happened. There is something which the world in the post-woke America is debating, radical centrism. Neither left nor right. Parties, they make a comeback, but if you look at Akhilesh Yadav, the reimagining of Samajwadi Party has not taken place. If you even look at BRS is in a decline and people are not paying attention to it. Their leaders are leaving BRS and joining Congress and Bharatiya Janata Party in horde. It's Telangana is one state which can become a straight fight between Congress and Bharatiya Janata Party in future. It's really not a joke. So what explains this absence of reimagining a party? Is it because we blame it on dynasty, or is it because the black money, or is it about the money in the coffer these political parties control? It's too much for anyone to leave that, 600 crores, 700 crores, 800 crores, and whoever controls the party controls the treasury.
Excellent question, according to me. In fact, all these opposition leaders of the India Alliance should actually learn from Donald Trump. I mean, look at the way Make America Great Again, the MAGA factor, which is now putting Biden out of shape right now. In fact, you saw how in the primaries he swept through Donald Trump, despite all the allegations, despite those long list of criminal charges against him. And look how he's already surging beyond Biden. So my point is, if any of these leaders that you named, Akhilesh Yadav, maybe Rahul Gandhi, maybe any of the other opposition leaders, want to take this issue, because after all, we are a surging country, but we are a poor country, right? We have 20% middle class. So if someone came up with this formula, how can I transform India so that the rest 80% also joins this middle class 20%.
There's also one another aspect to the entire thing.
Made India great again. I mean, that's my point. That if someone
I understand you're talking about. I understand what you're saying. Ultimately it's a narrative which stays. And it's not one thing, it's like Apki Bari, Atal Bihari. We think it's like a slogan. These are the frames of reference. Yes, you want.
I'm just saying that more than reimagining themselves, these people are not showing stomach for fight. If you remember the last time, when Akhilesh Yadav won and the Samajwadi party won an absolute majority, Akhilesh Yadav took cycle yatras. There were the Samajwadi party Karyakarta was on the road. There was a massive gangu. They went after the power like, they really desire it. And they won the election. If you look at the last election, the entire election was fought in 6 months only. The cadres, the leaders, they were absent during COVID time. Prime Minister, despite being on the back foot, he was saying that, you're not able to take care of the economy. So many assertions were thrown at him. They were working on the ground, and it reflects, it shows, these parties have lost the stomach for fight. Where is Samajwadi Party right now, who's fighting election in Uttar Pradesh? Banda, which is Bandayu, which is supposed to be pocket borrow of Akhilesh Yadav, of Samajwadi Party, you appoint and announce Dharmendra Yadav, who is a cousin of Akhilesh Yadav, as the candidate, and 1 month later you say that no, we are removing Dharmendra Yadav, appointing Shivpal Singh Yadav. Shivpal Singh Yadav says the party and the leader can go for a hike, I don't care, I'm not doing this. And now again you have a chatter on the ground that Dharmendra Yadav may be reappointed as candidate. This shows your level of preparedness, and you compare it with the other person, the top two who are fighting for this. They show stomach for fight, they fight on the ground, and that is the reason why they win. Reimagining is, I think, process number 2 or 3. First you have to show the will to fight. Where is the will? Where is the thought process?
Oh, Bhanu, apart from will to fight, or it's as if, it's like old politics, it's like in industrial sense. You want to do business in, for example, petrol and polyester, but the new oil is data. It's like that. Some political parties fail to understand the shift, Are you getting my larger point?
No, absolutely. I mean, you made such a brilliant point, Karthikeya. In terms of the 3 main factors, organization, idea, and leadership, there has been zero rejuvenation from the side of the Congress. They have not put forward a single great idea in the last 10 years. Don't consider Nyay to be a great idea. The last 10 years has been very barren. And if you remember 5-7 years ago, the left liberal intellectuals were saying that the right doesn't have proper intellectuals, etc., etc. But where are those guys that could put forward a working philosophy for the Congress? The previous gentleman spoke about a fellow democracy, America, right? Leave Trump. Take Vivek Ramaswamy. He didn't win, but how many new ideas did he put forward? And he was not backed by big money for that matter. And talking about money, in 2009, BJP ran out of money during the last week of the campaign. So BJP was on that stage when we talk about thousands of crores in electoral bonds. And even with the current data, we can see that Trinamool Congress got a lot of money because it was seen as some opposition to the current political dispensation, right? So I think the money follows ideas and not vice versa. So I think money is not an excuse. It's just that in management there is something called the block switch by theory, right? When the leadership is stuck and it doesn't give way to new blood, it just stagnates, and that is what is happening.
Bhanu, it also tells me that the whole issue of caste has not worked for the Congress party. For Aam Aadmi Party to get 11 seats also tells us that Aam Aadmi Party is sweeping Malwa, which is Dalit dominated. The only conversions that have taken place is to Christianity. It's a very contentious issue in Punjab. But the whole caste census thing has not worked for Congress. It has not been able to create a vote bank. And secondly, again a structural question. Oppositional politics has been the politics of polarization post 1967, in which opposition parties worked, backward caste, social empowerment, class struggle. Hindutva politics, on the other hand, has been an aggregation of various castes. It just keeps Muslims outside. So do you think that certain framework of Indian politics has also shifted?
Great point again, Karthikeya. Like, couple of things. One is the main regional party. I'm talking in general about India. The main regional party is usually backed by the largest agrarian OBC caste in that particular state. Take the Yadavs of UP, Kurmis of Bihar, Kurmis of Chhattisgarh, and in South India there are Downers and Baniyans and so on. So it's a few, Patels and Marathas, so on, right? So what the BJP has done is to look at the other OBC castes, the other agrarian OBC castes and other non-agrarian OBC castes, the Vishwakarmas, etc., etc. That's number one. Second is the Labharthis. Okay, they have become a total caste agnostic voting group, right? And the third is obviously what we call Kamandal, the whole framework of Hindutva. So it is a 3-pronged strategy that has totally encircled this caste-based politics that is demanded by the usual dominant caste of the various states. If you look at the regional parties, those were the ones that were demanding it, and Congress was giving cover to it. Congress did not play caste politics like what you just mentioned. So they were just giving cover to these regional parties as a part of the alliance. So that is the framework in which I think we can understand what is going on.
But Manaswi, Indian election is also working on another line, which is very, very similar to America, which is stolen mandate. I was going through Rahul Gandhi's press conference. The inference was like a stolen mandate, like the election commission is not functioning properly, institutions are not functioning properly. And I remember him saying that if we come back to power, please remember, we'll fix this thing for good. I'm not going to use the word he threatened, but Manaswi.
But he threatened.
It's not for me to say that, but it told me one thing, that there's certain global themes operating also, and India is not an island anymore. It's a resurgent, connected social system. So the whole issue of one person saying it's a stolen mandate, things have been twisted, is a reflection of that. Manaswi.
See, I think the narrative of the Congress and India alliance as a large is a broken narrative. So that is something which is not being connected with the voters as well. If you see Prime Minister Narendra Modi when he was the Chief Minister of Gujarat, 2002's Narendra Modi and 2024's Narendra Modi, they are two different personalities. So what has happened is he recreates himself every election. So Narendra Modi of 2002, 2007, 2012 and 2014 and 19 and 24 are different personalities. He's not the same person anymore. Every election, he just recreates himself. A new narrative has been born. A new stuff has been created. 2014 Narendra Modi was of corruption-free India, someone who can speak up, while Manmohan Singh was a silent prime minister. We can discuss on the policies and debate on it, but that was something, that narrative was that we need a vocal prime minister, someone who can stand on 26/11, someone who can give back to Pakistan, someone who makes India corruption free. 2019, giving back to Pakistan, the Pulwama attack and everything. So the narrative he changed every time. In 2024, it's about Ram Mandir, it's about CA, it's about Amrit Kal, it's about Viksit Bharat. So the narrative is on advancement point of view. On the contrary, with the Congress, the problem is it's a broken narrative. So Congress is not able to give out. So still they are on the ideologies of Indira Gandhi कि गरीबी हटाओ, employment लाओ, फिर से आप लेके आओ caste का census लेके आओ. So these narratives are not connecting with the first time voters and the advancement of India which is taking place. So you don't have that narrative of 2024. While Prime Minister Narendra Modi is giving a better narrative, a better communication, a better presentation, on that point Rahul's yatra or understanding is not taking shape for the voters. So while the country is moving forward with artificial intelligence, blockchain, cryptocurrency, digital India happening, so where is that narrative which Congress was a pioneer of? Which Congress has actually pioneered. The UPI system was developed by Congress.
I know I'm throwing a lot of things. Mr. Jha, I would like you to come, I would like you to answer this tough question. Mr. Jha, are you there?
So yeah, please fire him.
You see, as a reporter, I cut my teeth covering Congress. Before I moved on to other political parties, I covered defense, foreign affairs. But primarily, I cut my teeth covering this political party. And now as an outsider, I don't cover it anymore. I found this thing very peculiar. When we would go to Amethi, people would say, ye ghar ka rishta hai. The PCC president would not come to Amethi Raebareli. He would go back from the border. And only the local units would operate there. It was like an island. Anyone who has covered it would know that. It surprises me that after losing election and being MP from that place for 3 terms, Mr. Gandhi has not made more than 5 visits or 6 visits, Brijesh?
Less than that. Less than that.
ये 10 उंगलियों से कम होंगी.
ना एक हाथ क्यों 5 से कम होंगी.
5 से कम होंगी.
5 से कम होंगी.
It truly disturbs me in a way that something which has been cultivated in popular terms and media, this is a place of family, people's connect, can be left like that. I mean to say, it's a discontinuity in my coverage of the party, which I as a journalist
This
could
is
see.
a very petulant and also, you know, a very patriarchal kind of behavior.
I want Mr. Jha to answer that, because, you know, it has a subtext to it, and then I'll come to it. Mr. Jha.
I myself have a personal experience very similar to what you pointed out. In Lucknow, before the UP assembly elections, I had gone. By the way, at that time, Priyanka Gandhi was supposed to be in charge of the eastern part of Uttar Pradesh, and the western was given to Sindhia, right? I was there, and it was shocking. There was not I had gone around 11 or 12 in the afternoon, you know. I mean, not afternoon, let's say morning. There was not a single Congress leader over there. So I talked to the caretaker, and he told me, "Ki sir, dekhiye na, chai pilane ke liye kab bhi nahi mil raha hai." So I asked him, "Isn't Priyanka supposed to come? Or hadn't she come earlier?" He told me, "Yes, sir. The day she came, the entire Congress, all the congressmen came and sat in that office and acted as if everything was hunky-dory. The moment she went back to Delhi, everyone disappeared. In fact, I won't name the leader, but recently I talked to a senior leader in the Congress, very senior leader, by the way, who told me in an interview that Priyanka has not gone to UP even once after the Congress was decimated in the last assembly election." That is the state of things. The question that you asked earlier, which I thought did not get a very good answer, you asked, why is the Congress failing in raising the Mandal issue? Look at it. VP Singh raised the Mandal issue. At that time, Congress was against it. Congress has always been against the Mandal parties. Each of the Mandal parties, whether it was Mulayam Singh Yadav or it was Lalu Yadav, who fought for, let's say, Mandalization, for caste arithmetic, they were initially all opposed to the Congress. So the Congress at one time used to claim it's a catch-all party. Large section of its voters were upper caste. When under the influence of Nitish Kumar was the one who in 2023 declared caste census before that and said that caste census hona chahiye. On 9th October, 2nd October, Nitish Kumar does it on Gandhi's birthday. Immediately, Rahul Gandhi, without thinking, on 9th October goes and declares that we'll have a caste survey. And look what happened. He forgot that in states like Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, these are not OBC dominated. Look what happened. A disaster, right? They lost all the assembly election. So Congress's problem, especially that of Rahul Gandhi, he doesn't know his strengths. He doesn't know his weaknesses. Unlike his father, when you asked that question about reimagination, remember, I don't know if you guys are younger than me, if you ever covered Rajiv Gandhi. Rajiv Gandhi had imagination. When he came in 1984, of course, the big majority was also because of the sympathy factor, but because the way he sold the computer revolution at that time, which somehow the son is not picking up. The same inspiration that the father had, one of hope. He never talks about hope, Rahul Gandhi. He always talks of despair. Why, we are a poor country, right? If you keep telling me despair, I won't even get out of my home to go and vote. What you need, politicians who have great imagination all over the world, they are politicians of hope. You have to tell us, you don't, Rahul Gandhi.
I couldn't have agreed more with you, Mr. Jha. I couldn't have agreed more with you. If you look at all the powerful, I wouldn't say great American presidents, powerful American presidents, they have all worked on the politics of hope and American exceptionalism. Whether it's Roosevelt, Barack Obama,
all of it,
or even Trump, MAGA, Make America Great Again, they have not worked on small issues. They became big because they focused on American exceptionalism, which is a cultural political construct. But, it was a politics of hope. And Modi actually came to power in 2014 on hope of good governance. It was not a negative campaign. People just don't remember it. He was talking about cold change. I was stumped to hear a prime minister in 2014 telling कि यहाँ केले उगते हैं, यहाँ cold chain होगी, फिर वो tribal औरत है. Someone who understood business, That was the first time I heard a prime minister talking business. I thought that was only a job of the finance minister, and the rest of them can talk politics. But then you had a prime minister who was talking business. But there are two more states. I'm taking my own time, sweet time, but these are also important states. You know, I'm again shifting gears. One is Gujarat, and another is Madhya Pradesh. And Gujarat will make Prime Minister Modi very happy.
Stays on track.
Stays on track. बच्चा सही दिशा पे है.
2014, 19, 24. 26.
अब हम जाते हैं गुजरात. गुजरात हो गया मध्य प्रदेश. हाँ, माफी, मध्य प्रदेश. मध्य प्रदेश में भी बच्चा ट्रैक पे है और यहाँ भी बच्चा फुल नंबर लेके आ रहा है. ब्रिजेश.
I think you know, it is just a repeat of 2019, 2014, 19, and one thing is also very clear that you know, in the last 10 years, you know, the trust with Congress in these states where, you know, Congress is a dominant player, was a dominant player, is a good player. It's not like, you know, the party is in absolute shambles. They have again reposed their absolute faith in Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and they have rejected Congress like a pariah. I think herein lies a lesson for the Congress party, you know, as Mr. Jha was very articulately putting out that, you know, your politics should be a politics of hope. You know, when Rahul Gandhi says that, you know, and when he asks reporter, you know, tumhara naam kya hai, tumhara malik OBC and all, it doesn't sell. It's like, you know, the Queen coming and say, like, if you don't have, you know, chapatis, why don't you eat cake? It's that kind of narration. You know, people are baffled by the fact that, you know, you are a Brahmin. You are not an OBC guy. You cannot sell this narration.
My mother's side is from Bundelkhand, so they used to be a saying कि कांग्रेस में मध्य प्रदेश में नेता ज़्यादा हैं. So if you recount 2003, people would say नेता भरे पड़े हैं. So you had Suresh Pachori, you had Kamal Nath, you had Digvijay Singh, you had Rahul Singh, you had Arjun Singh, you had Kanti Lal Bhuria, you had Subhash Yadav, you had Jamuna Devi. Well, I can just go on and on and on. Satyadev Katare, Govind Singh. Well, I can again just go on and on and on. And people would say, they are all fighting. You know, Congress is such a big party. Today, नेता भी नहीं है, वर्कर भी नहीं है. Manaswi.
Karthikeyan, now after 10 years of continuous loss, be it in Gujarat and specifically Madhya Pradesh, what is the understanding of the leaders there, the leftover leaders, is that we don't want to fight and lose. Abhi the stage is that zamanate bhi zabt ho jayengi. So that is the kind of a stage which has come to specifically regions of Rajasthan, Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh, where the dominance of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, not of BJP, but Prime Minister Narendra Modi is at its peak. So here is that problem, wherein lots of leaders have actually communicated to the central leadership that we don't want to fight election this time. Some of them have went to Twitter also and have given their story that we don't want to fight this election. We want to concentrate on building up the party or whatever they would be in charge of something or the other. So we want to concentrate on that particular front, then to fight an election. So this is that fear of election which was not there in 2019, but in 2024, specifically in Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat has come out, wherein the vote bank has synced, the leadership has synced out. So there is no way they want to actually come out and fight that election.
I'll just substantiate your argument. I will not tell you my source. I also know people who have done surveys in Rai Bareli and Amethi. And I have been duly privy to that if any one of the Gandhis fight from Rai Bareli and Amethi, they are going to lose the election. BJP is sweeping both the seats. I'm saying this with great responsibility. Yeah. Number of surveys have been done. So I don't think anything is done in politics with a gentle heart. It is for reason that Sonia Gandhi went to Rajasthan to fight and Abhishek Manu Singhvi was slaughtered in Himachal Pradesh. And when I said he was slaughtered in Himachal Pradesh, because someone knew that Himachal Pradesh is not in order. And to give this fix that Priyanka Gandhi does not want to fight from Rai Bareli because it is going to send a very bad signal that all three Gandhis will be in Lok Sabha, is to just fool oneself. No one is coming from La La Land. It is for simple reason that Rai Bareli is a lost state, Manaswi. It's a lost constituency. And you know, 100%. Even in 2019, there was a survey done, and I said this in another channel where I used to work, that the shift has not taken place to influence election in Kerala. The shift took place because they knew that they were not going to win the election.
Karthike, the Samajwadi Party not helping them.
Even with the okay. Oh, you are saying the last time.
I'm just saying last and last time also. The ground was shifting rapidly. They just refused to acknowledge it.
It has shifted from Raebareli also.
Yep,
I can say this. I can say this.
Now, apart from that, see, when you are in the role of leadership, what I understand is the problem with Congress is now they've shifted to Rajya Sabha leadership. They don't want to be, there's a different leadership scenario in Lok Sabha leadership and Rajya Sabha leadership. So what has Congress turned out to be? वो Rajya Sabha के leader हो चुके हैं. There is no mass leadership which could gather votes for Lok Sabha. They are not building it up. And in politics, what is the mindset is that if you have lost election, what would the general trend would be? Even if you have lost Raebareli, Amethi, what would the general trend would be? That you go back, not 6 times, but every month, once or twice to meet your voters and then fight 24, even if you lose. Then that momentum of Karyakartas would pick up. Then that momentum of Uttar Pradesh could happen. And look at the scenario of Uttar Pradesh, which was once a Congress bastion, have been completely decimated. There is no Congress there. Look at in Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh. Once you lose out in Gujarat, even after 30 years, there is no momentum. So now leaders don't want to fight election. So this kind of momentum, you don't want to build it up. In election, you don't fight to lose, but you also fight to create a narrative with your Karyakartas. Yes, we have an alternative story. Yes, we want to take India forward. Yes, we want to take our constituency better than what the BJP constituency leader would have done. This is our alternative narrative. That narrative is not building up. That Karyakarta meetups are not happening. That engagement is missing. So that's a very big problem. In the larger scheme of things, when I say in the democratic idea of India, you need a considerable opposition, but that opposition building up, it's not the responsibility of BJP. They are enjoying it on their own larger cadre and also on the missing out cadre of the Congress. So this is a great thing to think of. So we cannot make India great by just having one political party going on the top notch. We also have to have a credible opposition, and that role has to be filled by Congress, which is missing on the Congress front. So it is somehow, so many lessons have been learned. Every debate we come and discuss that Congress ko ye lesson seekhna chahiye, wo seekhna chahiye, but somehow wo seekhte hi nahi hai. Somehow they don't understand ki yaar, what is missing? The pulse is missing. Once there is Prime Minister Narendra Modi giving a better narrative, a bigger narrative, or someone is connecting with the voters, what is your alternative narrative? Why your leaders don't want to fight Lok Sabha, and the same leaders are ready and eager for Rajya Sabha? So that narrative has to change. You have to build up. So what was happening earlier was these present leaders of Congress were all built up by Indira Gandhi, be it Kamal Nath, be it Ashok Gehlot, be it Ghulam Nabi Azad. These were all cadres of Indira Gandhi. And after that,
Manaswi, I just need to stop you here. Let's cut across to the frame. Let's cut across to the frame. So this is the frame we are getting from the press conference.
I'd request all the people standing in the aisles to kindly take their seats. भाई साहब थोड़ा बैठ जाएंगे आप बैठिए बैठिए